Hi guys, been a bit of a trial to actually get set up here today. I was hoping to have a bright sunny day outside for the light, but it seems to have dulled down quite a bit. But anyway, I'm hoping that the light will be okay for you. So I promised in the last video that I would be doing a kind of craft with me type video thing next, and this is it. I'm in the middle of working on a book for a friend of mine. She wants to give it as a gift, and when I make a book I usually make two, because I always have enough ephemera and papers and things printed and lying around to make two. Plus it kind of it cuts down on design time. I can use the same design in both books, just using different papers and things like that to make them different at the same time. So what I've done, I have pretty much completed one, as in I have it sewn together and decorated and all the rest of it. And what I'm going to do is film while I am decorating the second one. Now normally I would decorate them both together, going page by page in both books, but because I wanted to do the video I thought it would be a good way to have the humming and hawing over and done with and make things a little bit faster. So let's stop talking and get on with it. I am going to try and do these in 20-minute sections, and I will upload them in 20-minute sections, I think, because it would just take too long to have it all in one video. And 20 minutes is kind of a nice it's a nice time slot. So okay, first things first, I am going to flip to this page. Now as you can see, I have already done some stamping. There's a few little bits and pieces already in there. These are just tucked in because that's what I'll be using to decorate that. So hopefully this will be a fairly speedy process for you. Okay, so on this page on the other book I have some lace and things down the side. I have a stamp and a quote. Now there will be some rummaging. I do have stuff prepared and ready to go, but there will still be some rummaging, and I do still have some inking and things to do, so bear with me while I do that. But at least you get to see my process, you'll get to see how I do things. Okay, so I'm looking for some lace, and this is the box I have with all my bits and pieces in it. I have stamps and lace and things, and I have paper and ephemera in the other box. So now I used this on the front cover of the other one, and it's very, very pretty. Now I won't be using it on the front cover of this one, so I'm going to use this down the side like that, and that is so pretty. Yes, I like that. And there's a right way and a wrong way with this, and just make sure I have the right way around. I do. And it's actually, there's an upside down as well, which I didn't realise. So is there? No, there doesn't actually appear to be. Anyway, so I'm going to do that, and I need a quote, which I will find in here with all my bits and bobs. Now this lady is into Louisa May Alcott quotes. She's into The Secret, that kind of thing. She's quite spiritual, so I have printed off some quotes from both and from other sources as well. So I'm just going to see what one I want to put in here. Quite a long one might work. Not that long. Okay, and let's go again. Yeah, I like that one. Okay, so that says, everything in your life you have attracted, except that fact it's true. And it's by Rhonda Byrne from The Secret. So I'm going to maybe trim off another little bit of this here, and see if I can get another tiny bit off of here. Yeah, perfection. Now I'm trying not to go too close to this side of the page where it'll actually be bound into the book, because I want to keep it fairly bulk free on that fold, so that the book will close properly. Plus, if you go too far, you actually won't be able to see the first letter either. So I'm going to try and keep it out a little bit. Tear off another little bit of this. And here is where I need to do some inking as well. But I'm going to get my little stamp sticker first. I just have to put my hand to those. I told it there was going to be some rummaging. Okay, here we go. I got these on Wish, actually, and they only came recently, so they're very cute. So they're just little, they're done in stamp style. They're just little botanical images, and yeah, they're quite pretty. So I'm going to look for a pretty one. I want to do something with a flower on it. A lot of these are just very green, which, yeah, it was a little bit disappointing, but, you know, it works. It's okay. That's nice, but it's too dark. And this is where most of the time for making a book comes into play. Choosing and deciding and all that stuff. That's it. That's pretty. Okay. Like, if I had the ephemera and things just put in front of me and somebody said put that together, I've done in an hour. But when you're trying to choose and decide what you want to do, it can be a little bit more time consuming, which is why I wanted to do the video this way, having done the first book. Alright, so that's those. And we have a little bit of inking to do here, and I am using a brushed corduroy distress ink, just a little mini ink pad. I only have mini ink pads, unfortunately. The finances are strained with not with all the bits and pieces, but I do try to keep my my crafting as cost effective as possible. Not even cost effective, just cheap as possible, I suppose. So mini ink pads are the way. I have bought re-inkers for these, which works well for me. So I'm just going to ink around the edges of this. I want it quite dark on the edges. I do like this brushed corduroy colour. My ink pad went dry for a while and I didn't have it. And I was constantly saying, oh, I wish I had my brushed corduroy. So I finally bit the bullet and ordered a re-inker. I'm so happy I did. I use it all the time. Okay, so that's the edges, and I'm just going to give a quick swipe on the actual body of the piece itself. Just tie in the colour a bit. Okay, and I'm going to ink this as well before I stick it on, before I take it off the backing. It makes it so much easier. Again, darker on the edges, and I'll give a quick swipe across the middle of it as well. I like to just give the swipe across the middle just to tie in the colours, make it more cohesive. I think it makes it look more authentic. Okay. This paper was actually tea dyed as well anyway, but you know, it needed a little bit extra. Okay, so I am using Anita's PVA tacky glue. I use it for everything. I just find the other glues are too liquid and they give too much wrinkling in the paper. Now this isn't perfect either, but you know, it's better than the other ones. Now I would love to be using Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1, what's it, Beacon 3-in-1, but they're in America, very hard to get here and quite expensive to get in. So this is what I'm doing. I have tried other glues. I have tried all-purpose glues and I've tried silicone glues, and this is still the best option, I think, for me anyway. Of course, I'd love to be using my glue sticks, but I have done a couple of books with glue sticks, and not that long ago, and some of the pieces are already lifting, so that's a no-go. Okay, so, oh crap, I should have put this on first now, shouldn't I? Yes, expect a bit of that too, people, please. It happens. It's just part and parcel. And that won't take too much too much time to do, so I'm just going to run a bead of glue quickly up here so that the glue on the other piece isn't drying on me and making things difficult. I am going to trim this first so that the overhang isn't. I'm going to just keep pulling it out of place. Oops. This is just some trim that I took off of a scarf that I had lying around for a long time. I actually wore it for my brother's wedding a long time ago, and I kept the whole outfit actually, and I'm now cutting it up to use in my crafting. It was beautiful material, so okay, that's it. Now we can put this bit on. And I'm covering up that little butterfly, aren't I? Oh, it doesn't really matter, does it? Not that big a deal. Okay, that's that bit. And for our stump, yeah, I'll just see where I want to actually position this before I go at it. I think, yeah, around about there. Maybe not there. There we go. I don't want a little triangular gap in here, it just looks funny. Okay, now this is a sticker, and I don't always put glue on stickers, it depends on where I'm putting them, but because there is layers here, and especially a fabric layer, I am going to put some tacky glue on the back of this as well. I hope this isn't extremely boring, by the way. It might be, I don't know, you can let me know in the comments. But I thought it might be fun just to have you along, just to see the process and how these things actually come about. Okay. Pretty. I like it. It's just cute. Nothing fantastically special, there's no pockets or tucks or anything like that, but it looks cute and pretty. Okay, this paper actually came out of a notebook that I bought in, I think it was a shop, I think it was Mr. Price I got it in. It's just a kind of a discount store here in Ireland. And came as part of a set. The other papers are quite pretty as well. But it says Kew Royal Botanical Gardens. That's in England. And I was very much a gardener there for a while. I still am at heart, I suppose. I just don't have the energy to do it quite a lot out there. But so I have seen pictures of the Kew Botanical Gardens, and I've always wanted to go there. They're stunning. They're absolutely beautiful. They have a huge arboretum over there, and it's just gorgeous. So that's the paper. That's just the notebook, and there was a paper pad as well, and they were very pretty. Just cute cloth. Nothing amazing, but just cute. So that's that. Okay. This goes back in here. The trim is quite heavy, so I'm hoping that that glue will keep it in place for me. Okay. See? Very cute. Now, I do warn you as well, things are going to get messy in here. Like there'll be scissors and inks and all the stuff lying around the place. And I am drinking my coffee. Excuse me. Okay. So, the next page that needs to be done is this one. Now, this is a prime example of how things actually come about sometimes. And part of the design process is, if you can see here, I don't know if the camera's picking it up from there, but the ink bled through from the stamp on the other side. So I needed to do something in this corner to mask that. So that's how that came about. And just in case you're wondering, this is tracing paper, printed tracing paper. I was having trouble printing on tracing paper for a while. I have an inkjet printer, which isn't ideal. But I came across this thing called the Perfect Printing Pouch. Perfect Crafting Pouch. It was the Perfect Printing Pouch. I think they changed it to the Perfect Crafting Pouch. And you rub it onto your tracing paper before you put it through the printer, and oh my word, the results are just, obviously you can see, they're beautiful, beautiful. No smearing, nothing, absolutely gorgeous. So if you're having trouble with printing on tracing paper or vellum or anything like that, get the Perfect Crafting Pouch. Now I actually had to order this from America, and it ended up costing me about €12, but worth every penny, worth every cent. Love it. So that's that. Anyway, so what I came up with for this page was, I had these little cards that I had picked up. I'll just see if I can find the cards themselves. Okay, so it was a packet of wedding table stationery. It was €5, but there's a lot in here. A lot. They're just simple little pieces, but awesome. So you have your table numbers, and these are actually like double-sided, and you have the numbers on the front and on the back. So they just open like that, and they're all done on craft, which, you know, is kind of cool. And they have the pretty little design over the numbers and under the numbers. And then there were these place cards. So they just fold over like this. And all done in craft cardstock. So, you know, I thought it was a good deal. And, well, there are quite a few of them. So that's those. That's what I am using here. Back in here out of the way. And so I made a little booklet. Now this isn't sewn together, and I'm not actually going to sew it together on camera. I'm going to pause the camera for this because it would just take way too long. So I will come back and show you what I do on the inside covers and things when I am finished and where I put it. And it says on the front, do all the good you can. And it's got a little pop-up sticker here, and just a front of an envelope collaged on. Okay, so I shall be back to you shortly. Oh, okay, that was a bit of a trial. Sorry about the moving the camera here, guys. Anyway, okay, so I finally got it sewed. I was using this stuff to sew it. I don't know if you can see that. I use a double strand two-tone, and that's how it looks on the outside, and on the inside it's just a little bit of extra glitz and glamour, but it does make it very hard to sew. It goes everywhere. So that's that all sewed up and ready to go, and the next thing to do is the next thing I'm going to do is do a little collage on the front cover here. And I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want it. So we'll have like that, or something like that. I'll make sure her head is in there. Okay, so I am going to just get a pencil and mark that. That's not going to be cut, so I'm going to take that away. I'm just marking where I need to cut it to get to the top of the pages. And I'm just going to flip that over. And because I'm doing it this way, I'll be able to reposition these exactly how I need them to fit on the cover. So all good. And there's a little bit over here as well. And you notice I'm doing this right on top of the pages. I shouldn't be. Normally I'd move the book out of the page, but you know, just be a little bit extra careful if you're doing it that way. So I'm going to cut these on my pencil mark. I actually had these pre-selected, so you're saved the the pleasure of watching me go through every little piece that I have in the box to find what I want to do. And the last bit here. Okay, so that's that. Looks a bit queer there, but you know, it'll work in the end, don't worry. And we have a couple of snippets on this one. Okay, so that will be there, like that, and that will be just like that. Perfect. Okay, but maybe not perfect, but close enough. Okay, so I need to ink these again with my brushed corduroy. I might do some vintage photo as well. We'll see how I feel. Just going around the edges very quickly first. Little bits falling off my sponge. Probably needs to be changed. I got other ones. They weren't the Tim Holtz ones. And it's a slightly different material. It's more dense material or something. And it does work, but I prefer these ones. So I try to hold on to this as long as I can. This was the original one I got with the holder. Okay, that's that. Now I'm going to give her a little bit of vintage colouring here and put it off here. Just to get her more vintage looking. I do like these ladies in their bathing suits. Can you imagine having to wear all this stuff all the swimming nowadays? Anyway, I'm just going to touch up those edges. This is already inked, but I'm just going to touch up the edges where I had cut them. Okay, and I'm going to make this a little bit darker on the edges, just for a little bit more definition, so that it's not all blending in together. And I'm using Vintage Photo here. And just tiny touch on the edges with this. I like to use several different colours, and I'll often use up to 3 different colours, possibly even 4 if I'm feeling really energetic about it. Just to give it a little bit of extra depth, and I think it looks more authentic. Now I see other people just using one and it looks fine, and I think it looks great, but when I'm doing it myself and looking at it in real life in front of me, I think it needs the extra little bit. I'm going to actually do this ticket now as well while I have the thing in my hand. It says admit 1, good date of sale only, and there's a little ticket number there. Yeah. It's like a circus ticket is what it actually reminds me of. Okay, so this guy is going on first. And again, I'm going to use my tacky glue right around the edges, as close to the edges as I can without destroying everything. And as I'm putting on the glue, I'm kind of spreading it a little bit with the tip as well, so that it's not a big glob like that. The first bit often gets like globs like that, but for the rest of it you can kind of spread it as you're going. I'm just going to take it off there. Give a little bit of a squidgy in the middle. Technical term that, squidgy. You'll hear lots of those kinds of technical terms from me. Fully covered. I find that if you don't get, like if you leave a little gap in the glue, well obviously these little gaps are fine, but if you leave an open space in the glue, it just looks like it bubbled, and I don't like that. Okay, so get this into position here. Just lining up the edges that I cut. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Not quite beautiful, beautiful. I'll snip that tiny little bit off. Looks like I had bendy scissors. It was the scissors, not my hand. Anyway, that's that. Next is our lady, our beautiful lady. I'm thinking I didn't pull this down far enough. That might be a bit better. Okay. So we shall get some glue on her. And once I finish this piece, I'm going to stop the video and I'll upload this portion, and then we can do more on the next video. And I'll try to upload one every day until we're done, because I can't take forever about doing these anyway. They're kind of overdue, to be honest. Well, the one that I'm doing for the commission is overdue. In my eyes, I wasn't given a deadline or anything for it, but they're taking me way too long. I know I should be faster doing them, but I guess I don't always have hours upon hours every day to do them either. I do work and I have stuff to do around the house and, you know, life, I guess. And like I said, the choosing and the figuring out what I want to do is the longest part. And I do get a little bit frustrated with how long it takes sometimes, but it is what it is, I guess. It's my process. Okay, so that's looking fabulous. And our little ticket, which I just need to finalise where I actually want that. I think there. There maybe. Around there anyway. Don't have to be too fussy about it, I suppose. It'll look good either way. Okay. Yes, I get annoyed with myself when things like that happens. Anyway. And here we go. And we decided this way, didn't we? That's good. Hey, job's a good one. Okay, so it's just a little collage, just as a little bit of interest when you open it. Now the papers I use are just offcuts, scraps, and I just cut them or tore them down to size. This was, I was trying out some sprays that I had made on some tea stain paper, just to see how they look, and I've used bits of it in other notebooks like this before, so it's just a good way to use it up, and just some random tea stain paper, and that's it. Okay, so on the back I am going to put another piece, and I do have to go searching for it. Hopefully it's in my buska, my little box of tricks. I know the piece that I want to use, so hopefully it won't take me too long to find it. Lots of very cutesy pieces. Here we go. This is it. So this is just going to go here like this, and it needs some ink. Now I have a little bit of vintage photo on this, so I'm just going to do the inner portion first before I pick up some more ink. Okay. And I'm using vintage photo. I'm just going to use the one. I might give it a quick rub of brush core dry in the middle as well, will be. But I think it'll be fine the way it is, I think. It's amazing how some pieces may look too new and too shiny and pretty until you put some ink on them, and then voila, amazing transformation. Yeah, I'm just going to give it a few extra little marks, maybe crease it here. Just give it a little bit more character. I was so stressed out about sewing this notebook, by the way. It just frustrated me that I ended up having to get another coffee. So. I do love my coffee. Okay, so we're gluing. Now I could use double-sided tape and things for this as well, but I just find that I feel more secure about using the glue. Not that there's, I mean, double-sided tape works really well for certain things, and it would work fine here, but I have the glue in front of me, so why not? And this bottle of glue is lasting me a long time. I must have it at least 4 or 5 months by now. I don't actually even remember where I got it. I'm sure it was a shop, an actual physical shop as opposed to ordering it online, but I can't remember which shop, which is a bit unfortunate, because it was quite a bit cheaper than the Aleen's, which I've never actually, have I? I have. I've had one bottle of Aleen's, and it's very similar. This stuff is actually a little bit thicker. But that's fine too. Okay, so I'm going to burnish this to make sure the glue gets right down to the edges. Like that. I'm just going to take off those little extra bits. And up as well. Doing this gives it a really flat, really smooth finish as well. Almost like it's part of the piece as opposed to having been glued on. Okay. I do have a little glue smear there that I don't like. And I can't always get it off with a baby wipe, but I do like to try. Sometimes it just messes up the paper underneath. Yeah. Okay, so there we have our little booklet. I should probably have mentioned as well that on the inside of the booklet I had some extra Inca Gold. I had pulled out the Inca Gold for something and I had a little piece on my glass mat, and the bit that was left over when I was done doing what I was doing, I just smeared it across here. I just sprayed it with some water and dipped this in like that. And it just gives it a little something. Waste nothing. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm making this into a little pocket on this page. So I am gluing the 3 edges and leaving it open on the top. Now I do want a fair amount of glue on this. I don't want it lifting. I'm not putting anything too heavy duty or anything in here, but still I don't want it lifting when it's being used. Okay, so I'm just going to line it up, leaving a little bit of a border there. I'm just going to keep that pressed for a minute. I think it looks really cute. I'm quite liking this little collage on the front. Now, just to keep that in place, I am going to put some clips on it for now. Handy dandy little cute ones. I don't know if they'll be big enough. Okay. Let's have a look. Right. Beautiful. Now I'll probably go overkill with these, but better safe than sorry, right? Obviously I can't put any on this edge, but hopefully the ones on the bottom will keep that in place anyway. And a couple here. And one more. So that is that pocket done. Now I will get the ephemera piece ready for it. I'm not going to put it in yet, obviously, because the glue is still drying. Glue is still wet. You know what I meant. Try to find the piece that I want. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bingo card in there. These are just printouts. I have no idea where I got them. I've had them on my computer for a while, so I can't tell you where I got them, I'm sorry. And I am going to round the corners. Now these were printed on a kind of, it's paper that they sell for doing your CV. I don't know what it's called. It's got kind of a texture to it, and it's cream. Nice paper. And I printed these onto that. And the usual inking. I'm going to start with the with the brushed corduroy. This is already quite vintage looking, so it may not need any more than this, but I will be inking the back as well, so we shall see. There goes my glue. Welcome to my world, people. I really wish these glue bottles had wider flat tops so that you could store them upside down easily. Now I was storing that one upside down in my little caddy for a while, but the top of it kept filling up with glue, which was very annoying, so I stopped. So now I just keep it upside down on my desk when I'm actually using it. Okay, so now on the back I'm going to go heavier on the edges. I think I actually put too much ink onto that ink pad when I was refilling it with the re-inker. So now I get these ugly marks sometimes. But my own fault, I can't really say much. No. Okay, so that's suitably old looking. But the edges on the back are just too blended for my taste. So I am going to go in with the vintage photo. Just touch the edges of it. It just gives it more tonal qualities, and it just, again, like I said, makes it look more authentic in my eyes. I did get another distress pad. I think it was vintage or antique linen or something, which is a nice light colour that would do really well on centres of pages, but the ink pad was pretty much dry when I got it, so I'm not very happy about that. I should have sent it back, but it was kind of a while ago now, so I don't think there's any point. Anyway, actually the brush corduroy one wasn't great. No, sorry, not the brush corduroy. The vintage photo one wasn't great when I got it either. So, okay. So that will be tucked in there when we are ready. I can leave it in there for now. And the last thing to do here is a little closure for the booklet to keep it closed. And what I am using for that is, if I can put my hand to it, they were here a few minutes ago. Story of my life. Constantly losing things on my desk. I know they're on my desk, but you know, they escape notice quite a bit. It might be in this box. I know I have some in here anyway, so yeah. Okay, so I have these little teardrop shaped paper clips that I got on Wish. And I got some gold ones and I got some black ones. So I'm using the gold ones on this. And I want to put a couple of little charms on it. So just bear with me while I grab the box. The box. Yeah, I'm going to have to put that out of the way, aren't I? in here I have charms and metal embellishments and doodads. And I am looking for this particular bag for this one. There's some very pretty pieces in there. I'm going to use that little pearl, or maybe this one, and that. I quite like that. So I think those two, no, that one. Do you know what? I'm going to use the little heart with that. That's cute. That's the wrong colour though. Yeah, but I want to have some colour in there, so we'll use that. Okay. See what I mean about the choosing and the dilly-dallying and the... Oi, oi. Okay. Luckily we have jump rings on both of these. No fussing about with that. Back in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is slip the jump ring onto the leg of the paper clip. The two jump rings, I should say, really. There we go, and I'm going to pull them up past, see this little angle here kind of goes to the edge, so if I slip them past that they kind of stay in place. So yeah, that's cute. And that will be slipped on here just to keep that closed. Obviously I can't do it now, but I'll show you when we come back. So that's that for this section. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back to see some more. If you have any questions, obviously leave them in the comments. If there's anything in particular that you wanted to see with what I've done, I know we only did 2 pieces, but if there's anything in particular that you'd like to see in more detail or whatever, do just let me know in the comments and we'll see what we can do about that. So, until next time, have fun. Bye!